My European family trusted me until I fell in love with an American.
How could you fall in love with America?
I am a 27 female from a European country where family is everything. It's the norm, not the exception, that people live with their parents until late 20s, if not even until 30, and we are close-knit. I still live with them. By the way, this comes from Distressed X, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley, in Riley's room.
In Riley's room. And we're here to give good advice goofily in Riley's room, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, I grew up in a fantastic family with 2 supportive, wonderful parents who have always been there for me emotionally and practically. I have no complaints, and I couldn't have asked for better. We are very close. We respect each other's space and time, and we travel together without any issues. Up until now, I always thought there was trust and mutual respect. The issue arose when I met and started dating my current partner. For context, we have been together for over a year now, doing long distance, but meeting up multiple times and spending 2 to 3 weeks together each time. He is from the US. I have had other relationships before, even long-term ones. However, this is the first time that it's been this serious in terms of emotional investment. I feel like I met someone really, truly special who, like my parents, wants to see me blossom and supports me fully. I've dealt with issues of jealousy and even competitiveness from other partners, especially since career-wise, one could say I am ahead of the norm and rather successful.
Ooh, she got that chicken money.
She's getting that chicken money.
Everybody else was thinking about chicken houses, but I got them.
I'm bottom. The biggest issue so far between us has been the struggle with the distance. We had to alternate a few plans, but we had agreed from the start that we could only do distance for a certain period of time, and if we couldn't find a realistic way to close it, then we would have to break up.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
I think I think you need to have a game plan for when long distance is going to end. Otherwise, it's like, is this going to work out in the long term? After months of a lot of stress regarding that, we have finally managed to find a path that will allow him to move to my country as well as keep his job.
Okay.
A scenario which works out great. I have said from the very beginning that I wasn't considering moving abroad due to the fact I want to be close to my parents. My partner understands, and he has agreed. I've also told him, and he has understood, that I don't plan to move in the future either. So both parties are in agreement with the fact that if we were to stay together, we would build a life here. Initially, my parents, especially my mother, was supportive. She could see that this was a good man who was treating me well.
Okay.
I think the problem arose when she realized how invested I was and how seriously I was taking this particular relationship. Then the panic started. We began to fight constantly in ways we'd never argued before. Day after day, making up, then rinse and repeat. This continued until his visit to my country. When he came to visit my country, I introduced him to them. We went out to dinner, and then we stayed together at my family home and spent most of the next day there, too. Well, you would think this would make everything better. They're about to meet him. Now they don't just have to be like, oh, you sound American. It was very awkward since my partner doesn't speak my native language. My father speaks good, but not fluent English, and my mother doesn't speak it at all. But the worst thing was the fact that my mother and I were still in a minefield, even though I had thought we had reached an agreement. When we met up, the atmosphere was very tense during dinner. My partner then made a faux pas when he opened the car door for me, but not for my mother, who was right next to me. That same night, my mother and I continued fighting. My partner apologized to her, and she had me translate, and they seemed to have a heartfelt discussion, which was very touching for my partner, who teared up because he felt like we had reached a breakthrough. I kept arguing with her, however, for the rest of his visit and for a long time after. Again, the same pattern of ugly fight, thinking we resolve some things and then rinse and repeat. Eventually, though, I thought it got better. There was still the odd argument or conversation about this, but never to that extent again. In fact, I could understand a lot of the concerns regarding my partner. He is foreign, and that might mean he won't be able to understand or accept or even be integrated into our culture. That might cause a strain in our family dynamic and closeness. Because they cannot communicate directly, my partner would learn my language, They cannot get to know him and form a full opinion of him for themselves. They won't likely be able to meet his family, but even if they did, the language barrier would apply. There is a lot of anxiety and concern as to what might happen if we do close the distance now, but in the future he decides he cannot stay in my country and wants to leave, especially if we have children down the line. Since he doesn't have anyone else here, they are worried he will latch on to me and I will not be able to have much of a life outside of him. Nicole says, sounds like you had a mom-family issue, not a boyfriend issue. I agree. Now these concerns are also shared by me. I have tried to iron them out with my partner as well to the best degree of certainty, and he has addressed them well. But there are others that have arisen from my mother. Not now that if I get serious with this man, we are moving on to the next chapter of adulthood, which will essentially mean a lot of distance from my family. How I will not be as close to them anymore. How I won't be able to go on trips with them anymore and leave him behind because he won't accept it without causing arguments in our relationship. The arguments flared up again before, during, and after his recent visit to my country again. My partner came here with the sole priority to make this trip prove to his work that he can work from here and that he can win over my parents. There's a lot of detail I won't go into here so that I don't make this post even longer, but the second time around again of them meeting was a disaster. More awkwardness, more fighting with my mother who couldn't keep up appearances, at least in his presence. She regretted the behavior during that dinner again and tried to make up for it by gestures of gifts and cooking for us when we went away for a trip, like making his favorite food. At some point, this stress took a toll on my partner, who then started seeing their generosity as a lie and believing they have a problem with him specifically. We were staying at a different flat my family owns, and 2 days before he was due to leave, he grabbed his suitcase and wanted to leave the place and go rent a hotel room elsewhere. This put a strain on me personally between me and him, as well as appearances to and for my parents, because it was in the morning and the security camera alarm system notified my father's phone of suspicious movement. So when he checked to see what happened, he saw him packed up and leaving from the entrance of the building. He didn't end up going, but the strain and distance was bigger than ever. My partner insists that he loves me and that this changes nothing about how he wants to be with me, and in fact, spend his life with me. But right now, I continue to be in constant arguments with my mother, my father less so, but I know that he agrees with her on most points. It's daily, and it's taking a huge toll on our relationship. Meanwhile, I can't in good conscience let my partner move here and uproot his life if he is to step into a minefield. By the way, it's not a minefield to find full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Ouch, I scratched myself. Any final thoughts?
The only way that this could actually work out, OP, is if you wanted it to, and you stopped letting your parents control the narrative here, because it sounds like she's
just listening to her parents.
Listening to her parents, is in this relationship. Make a decision. Either stop stringing them along,
or stop letting your parents get involved in your relationship.
Exactly. Pick one and stick with it.
Yeah.
Because if I predict this right, your next boyfriend that you're going to meet is going to be the person you marry because your parents will like them. And they also do whatever your ex did. And they're a videographer as well. So
OP continues. I'm trying to resolve this, but it just feels like descending into repetitive, worsening circles. This is especially hurtful because I genuinely adore my parents more than anything, and I always envisioned a future where my parents and my partner would also have a good relationship. I'm considering therapy to try and understand how to handle this, but I feel like I am at the end of my rope here. Has anyone else dealt with something similar? And if so, how was it resolved? Comment, you have to decide if you are ready to be an adult, making adult decisions, and be in an adult relationship.
Yeah, for real.
Your parents want you to stay as their child and are not open to allowing you to make your own choices and decisions and live your own life. If you aren't ready to become self-sufficient yet or do not love them enough to stand up to your parents, if they love you, they will try to respect your relationship. Then this isn't the right time and or person for you. Agreed. Agree with that comment. But that's the end of that story.
Yeah, and how do we know what their age was again? Un momento. They are 27.
That's a
and
little
30.
too...
$33 mil?
Honestly, that's a little too
Oh.
old for you to let your parents be this involved in your relationship. I understand that you have like family cultural things here, but she needs to be independent.
Yeah.
But we don't know about that. But
We don't know.
I think she just needs to
assumptions.
learn independence, regardless of like, I don't know. You're arguing with your mom all the time. It's not gonna like your relationship will only improve when you start being independent and just being like, I actually, I'm making my own decisions and
Yeah.
this is my relationship and you can think whatever you want and we're not going to have a discussion about it. I confronted my parents about their will and their reason broke my heart.
They gave it all to the dog.
It's the plot of Aristocats, but with a dog. This past weekend, I was house sitting for my parents, 68 male and 68 female. I keep my hunting rifle in their safe since I live in the city. I haven't used it in a while, so I decided to zero it. While getting it out, I did some treasure hunting in the safe. At the time, I really didn't think I was snooping. By the way, this comes from Throwaway 5GGG2S, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Riley.
And we're here to give good advice goofily from the comfort of Riley's bedroom. But we don't have all the answers, we only know what we do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. NOP says, the whole family has the combination to it. I just never looked before. It was mostly boring stuff like passports and jewelry. But there was an envelope with the logo of a law firm, and in it, the will. As you might have guessed, I was to receive less than my siblings. I have an older sister, 38, and an older brother, 36. They were getting 40% each, while I got 20%.
And
Wow.
OP is 31 mil.
I read through the whole thing, thinking I was to get some other asset or something. But no, it was after everything was liquidated. I don't know why they would do this. The only thing I can think of is that my siblings are both married with children, and I'm single and child-free, but that just feels stupid. They don't know that I'm child-free by choice, and what if I have kids after they passed away? I doubt my siblings would give me that money retroactively. It makes even less sense since my brother has 3 kids and my sister only 1, yet they get the same amount. It's not like it's going to a trust for the grandkids either. It goes directly to us as lump sums. We have talked openly about inheritance before, like in family meetings, but no one ever said that some would get more or less, just things like if someone was interested in the house or farm, or if they should sell it. They have also been open with how much they have. They are both retired now, but have worked full-time jobs and have been running a farm their entire lives.
Aww.
It's been a few years since I saw the numbers myself, but last time they told us it was $2.1 million. Don't live in the States, just seem easiest to convert to. Wow. I'm well aware that 20% of that is a life-changing amount, so a small part of me feels greedy. But the rest of me just feels sad and angry. I haven't been able to get it out of my head. We never fight. We all meet on holidays, etc. I just can't think of anything. And no, I'm not an affair child. My mom's hobby is genealogy, and we all have profiles on Ancestry. And I look just like my paternal grandfather.
Wonder why your mom is an expert or hobbyist in this field. Seems like
What is she hiding?
It seems like she's very knowledgeable about certain things.
None of us siblings are rich. If I had to guess, my sister and her husband are probably in the best state financially, having good jobs and only 1 child. I'm probably the worst off right now since I just bought a house on a single income. Do I tell them what I saw? Do I just forget it and secretly hope that they change it back before they pass away? My head is like a brick right now. I hate this. It's like I will lose whatever I do. What would you do? Any parents with adult kids out there that can see their side and justify it? I feel betrayed. How do I go about this? And
Easy.
there are some comments and an update.
Got 2 routes here.
What?
1, you can confront them, ask them what's up with it, get your emotions out there. Or 2, you scan all those documents. You then proceed to make new documents with an equal split. Therefore, they won't know. They're going to be passed away.
Okay.
And they won't know that the equal split happened.
So the second option is crime. Third option,
No
you
one
don't tell them, and you just start behaving like so good, like you're doing everything for them.
But they don't.
And they're like, "Why are you?"
Oh,
really?
oh,
OP
for that.
really like stepped up his game, and they're like, "We should give all of the money to OP," or you just communicate. I don't know. Comment 1. Here's another possibility. If the parents truly feel that their children's spouses are like their own children, Each adult would equally receive 20%. Comment 2, I volunteered to marry OP and will split the extra inheritance 70-30 in their favor. Comment 3 says you make an assumption throughout your post that the decision to not split the estates evenly was based on children. If that makes you feel better, then fine. Maybe it's true, but why just assume that? It's their money and they can set it on fire if they want to. What I want to know is why you're being treated differently. If I were you, here's what I'd do. Tell them you snooped and you saw the will. Tell them you're more than grateful, as that's a life-changing amount of money for you. I don't want you to change anything because I accept that is what you want in terms of distribution. What I do want is an explanation as to why two siblings are being treated one way and I'm being treated differently. You see, if you both passed and I found out at the reading the will, I would never know why. Did I do something to which you're both still holding a grudge? Is there some problem that we can resolve before you pass? Keep the will the way it is. I'm not asking for more, but I'd like to know why. And if there is a problem, I'd like a chance to resolve it, or at the very least, not to wonder what I did.
Too many emotions in that one.
I think that was good.
Just rewrite the document. It's really not that hard.
I like that comment.
I could see a YouTube video on how to do it. It's pretty easy.
Response.
It'll take you an afternoon.
You're right about what I want to know is why the difference is there at all. Me being single and child-free is the only thing I could think of. I don't know if that's the case. Comment 4 says, so on the one hand, the comments you're getting about not being entitled to anything are 100% true. Inheritance isn't a right automatically bestowed. But on the other hand, I think it's crappy for parents to do this to their kids, giving unequally between them, without sitting everyone down and telling them about it long before anyone has passed away. Stuff like this is a way of breeding real resentment among the siblings, and there's no way to reconcile it since, of course, the people who caused it are now passed away. As for what to do here, I talk to your parents privately. Just explain to them how you came across the will and that you understand you're not entitled to an equal share or anything at all, but it did take you by surprise to see the difference between what you're getting versus your siblings and see what they say. Do be prepared to be hurt by their answer, though. There's no real non-hurtful explanation for singling out one child to get so much less than the other two. Comment 5 says, my grandparents and are millionaires, maybe? Had millions?
Yeah.
My grandfather passed away and grandmother rewrote the will.
Ooh.
There was my mom and her sister. The sister, my uncle, and cousins got about 80% of the money and things. The other 10% went to other people, leaving my family of 5 with 10%. My one cousin got $80,000 each. I got $2,000. What the F? I was the youngest. What grudge did she have against me? I wish I had the chance to ask her why I was such a disappointment to her. I never knew such a thing until she was gone. It is not the money, it's the not knowing. I do know that my grandfather told us that each grandchild would get the same amount when I was around 14. He promised that.
And he kept that promise.
Yeah, she changed it. So what changed? And that is why I would ask them directly with just you and them in the room. I would start with, have I done something to piss you guys off? I have information that you're not happy with me. I want to know what I did. I wish I could have that conversation with my grandmother. And there is an update, but any thoughts besides telling them to commit a crime? I think I agree with the comments. I think talking to your parents immediately, as my cat says, because otherwise you're just going to be wondering about it and it's going to be bothering you forever anyway.
What does it even look like?
What do you mean?
Like,
so you have a will.
I know, but that's happened recently, and I'm not going to be like, yo, where's my inheritance at?
Well, usually you have people at like the will reading and then it's distributed out. You would have gotten information if you had money. Update. I have a lot to think about, but at the end of the day, I just have to talk to them. No getting around it. Someone pointed out that there is no such thing as one will for two people. This is not their individual wills. I don't think they have those. They will inherit each other when the other passes away, as per default as a married couple. This is more of a what it will happen to their resources once they both are gone. Sorry, I don't know how to describe it. We have a word for it, and Google wants to translate it to will. Update 2. I called them yesterday and explained everything I saw.
Uh-oh.
Some of you guessed it. It was the adults they had based it upon, not the kids. My siblings' spouses are great people, and my parents love them as their own. So sure, I can buy that. The kids were also a factor.
Oh.
So it was the fact that they were like, yeah, we just wanted to give each parent, child's partners.
So in that scenario,
Yeah.
everyone got 20%.
I feel like I wouldn't give everyone 20%. I would give her like the not kids 10. You know,
I see what you're saying.
like you could still give them stuff, but I
that's
guess it's their
fair.
decision. So
Looking at it from that perspective, that's fair because it's their money. They can
yeah,
pick what they want to do with
they
it.
can do whatever they want.
It's a little more fair.
I told them I found it a weird way to split it and asked what would happen if I got married. They told me that they will rewrite the will. What if I marry a person they don't like as much? No answer. What if I marry or have kids after they pass away? No answer. By the way, I would like you guys to answer when I call upon you to listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Boom.
I still don't think that's quite fair.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, again, they can do whatever they want, but I think I would feel a little bit slighted if I were OP.
Gotcha. 2.1 mil.
Like, imagine if your parents were splitting up the will and they gave Tate more because he was getting married. Like, let's say this is like in a couple years.
He's getting married.
He's married
yeah.
and you weren't married.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Like, I feel like, and you'd be like, well, wait, I'm planning to get married too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see their perspective on it. Whenever people do get married, they become one. So a 33% split between all three could work. But
I think if they could give them some, but I don't think they should give them equal shares as the kids.
I'm with Beehive. I don't like it, but it's 100% their money, their choice. Yeah.
I agree.
I think it's nice they think of the partners as children.
Yeah.
Album cover says.
An album cover. OP continues, I asked if they had considered that my sibling spouses would presumably inherit their own parents one day. No answer. Probably the most awkward conversation I've ever had with them. They asked me if I wanted them to rewrite the will to do a 33 split instead. This question actually put me off. So in line, what many have told me, I said no, and that they're free to do whatever they wanted with their money. But I also said I feel disappointed. And what I really want is for them to want to change it. They texted today with an apology and that they will go over their options. I haven't had the energy to reply yet.
That's it?
Yeah. I think the most fair thing would be to do the 33% split.
Okay.
But
Yeah. Gotta split it amongst everybody.
My family's furious over my inheritance because they want a piece of it.
Too bad, so sad.
I am 26 female. My mom passed away last October, and I received a few $100,000 in inheritance money.
Woo!
For more background info, my dad passed away when I was 15 years old due to a substance problem, and I don't have any siblings. By the way, this comes from a deleted user. But if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Riley.
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so if you would do something different, let us know in the comments, as OP says.
And we're in my room, by the way, if you're confused.
Boom, 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 boom. We're inside Riley's room. My partner, 27 male, and I have been living with his parents since my mom passed away, because right beforehand, a natural disaster made our condo unavailable. So we've been living with them for about the last 6 months. As a result, we haven't had any rent payments to make, and my bills are pretty minimal. My partner makes good money through a collectibles business that he conducts at home/owns, so he has a lot of flexibility. I have been feeling very lost in life after losing my mom and being parentless. So my partner and I thought this period of time might be a good opportunity for us to explore and travel a bit, which his parents fully support and are okay with.
Okay.
We traveled to Mexico twice in the past couple months. It's only a few hours flight from us and is cheap. Once by Carnival Cruise, and the other time we flew directly. My immediate family is composed of my grandmother, my mom's mom, and my mom's partner, who is like a stepdad to me, but they weren't married. Both of them have serious issues with us doing any traveling at all because they think I'm just blowing through my inheritance or that it makes me unstable. It's unstable to, I don't know, travel. That's unstable.
It is.
It depends. Where are you going? Are you staying in like a palace? Are you spending $15,000 a night? That would be maybe a little reckless.
No, I think it's because it's out of the norm for them. And anything out of the norm, it's unstable.
I think it's more like I wouldn't spend that money that way.
Ah.
If it was my money, I wouldn't have spent it that way.
Love those.
My grandma has been very controlling and has been trying to direct me to return to and finish school immediately, something I don't feel I'm ready for right now. She doesn't ask me what I want to do with my life or how I want to do things. She just gives me orders like I'm a child. Both of them want me to buy a house, which I plan on doing, but I want to wait because the economy is not great right now, and I also don't know where I want to live. I really want to live outside my hometown where I've been residing. And I feel like my career should be in a better position or more stable because I'll likely need to pay for repairs if I buy a cheap house with cash, and I can't currently get a mortgage until I have more stable income. Now, my partner and I, we've been together for 7 years, by the way, have been planning a trip to Europe with the intention of getting engaged. We've been talking about getting engaged for the past year or two, but put it off because my mom had been extremely ill for the past few years, and it just wasn't the right time. He even already bought a ring last year. We also decided that if we get engaged, it would be a several-year engagement until our lives are more stable. I revealed the plans to my mom's partner, and he was immediately cold towards me and irritated, acting like I'm making an extremely irresponsible decision. My partner talked to him over the phone, and they got into an argument, and my mom's partner suggested that the inheritance should have been split amongst my entire family, including him, grandma, uncle, and 2 cousins, and that it would be a better way to spend it than using some of it on a trip to Europe, that my partner is paying for more to begin with, like 70-30. This just all goes down to, I want that money.
Oh, absolutely.
I should have been having that money. That's my money.
People get weird when it comes around the money.
Yep. He also talked to my grandmother, who thinks that us going on several trips or vacations within 6 months of my mom passing is weird and irresponsible. My partner is now telling them that he will pay for the whole trip. He's able to do so financially. And now my grandma wants to see his bank statements or proof of income after he offered.
Dude.
What?
Bank statements?
Nothing's ever good enough, huh? I understand their concerns, but also feel like they're trying to control me and my inheritance, and feel like it's sort of crossing a boundary. Not that I'm planning on it, but if I choose to blow all of the money or spend it in ways they don't approve on, I feel like that is totally my choice and my consequences to face.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't think it's that crazy to want to travel after losing someone you love. I've seen it in depictions in movies and books, and even my uncle suggested that maybe I would want to get a camper and travel around America for a bit to get my bearings. Plus, we aren't planning on like backpacking in Europe for several months. It would be a 2-week trip that we do fairly cheaply. We're not going to be blowing $10,000 on one trip. I've lost both of my parents at a pretty young age and don't have much close family, which leaves one incredibly frazzled, wounded, and in need of some soul-searching. IMO. I don't know. What do you all think? Is my family being controlling? Am I missing something, or am I the one in the wrong? Advice or suggestions? My family's being controlling about how I spend my inheritance. I want to spend a small portion of the money traveling, but they don't approve, and it's causing tension in my relationship with them. Should I refrain from traveling to appease them, or are they crossing boundaries by trying to control how I spend it? And by the way, you can spend time listening to full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, just search OK Storytime, and you can listen to the whole mother load. Like in their dream scenario, it's like, you go, you know what? You're right. I don't know how to handle this money. I should put it in a trust with your names on it so you can handle the money for me and spend it however you deem necessary.
Oh, don't do that.
That's what they want.
That is what they want.
That's what they're hoping for. But they literally can't do anything about it. It's your money. Now, do I think that you should be like mean or cruel to them? I don't know. People always get weird about money. You know, don't go out of your way to buy them a $20,000 watch because clearly that would be, irresponsible.
But they still want more.
Be a little thoughtful. Get them something they need. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I get it that like it wasn't given to you, but like
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of money, and it makes sense that they're looking at it and being like, man, I didn't get anything. Not like, oh man, $5,000 would really help about this or that, or
Yeah.
what have you. I'm sure they also would be taking a trip with this money. It's crazy, but
But they can. You can't. You're too young.
right, you don't know how to do it right. You say, I've got my plans for this money, but why don't you guys just send me a plan? What should I do with it? Why don't you tell me exactly what I should be doing with it? They're saying, like,
Boom.
buy a house. She's like, I want to, but not while the market's like this. I think, low-key, buying a house is not a bad idea. But you don't know where you want to buy the house yet. So
Don't know.
that makes sense. You're not being the a-hole, and
No.
it does feel like they want to control where that money goes. Let's
really
finish this
do.
story. There's an edit. I also forgot to add this. There's a smaller amount of the money, like $30,000, that's being held up in probate court. I have an attorney for it, but she's been taking an incredibly long time, and I'm considering getting a different attorney. However, in the meantime, I'm worried about my stepdad or grandma going after the money against me. Is this something they could do? I'm wondering if I should cancel the trip, which was planned 1 week from now. And we have some comments.
Nah, go on the trip, dude.
Yeah, I'd say go on the trip. Comment one, quoting back the, my mom's partner suggested that the inheritance should have been split, and there it is. I was waiting for it. OP, they want your money.
Oh, yeah.
Stop telling them anything. Stop talking to them. They don't have your best interests in mind. They are prioritizing their own interests. Lastly, find a financial planner and use some of the money to invest. Establish a fund, an IRA, and make sound investment choices to secure your future. This is solid advice. The planner can help you make a plan for different financial goals, like house down payments, retirement, emergency funds, and also plan for some liquid savings for fun money. Shop around and find someone good. Also, you'll want these accounts to be in your name only, not your partner. Inheritance money is separate property unless you commingle it. If you mix funds in a joint account, get married, and then a year later he divorces you, he gets half. Protect yourself, even if you love this man and intend to marry. Another comment says, next, some people are quite proud of having never even left the town they are raised in. Travel for those types is frivolous and silly. They just don't get it, and they never will. Your lovely family aren't that concerned about you. They're mad they didn't get money, so they don't want to see you using it.
Yeah.
I would just gray rock these folks and shut down the convo if they bring it up. And if you do meet with a CFP, you can let them know that you're being advised by a professional, so their input is not needed. And OP replies to this, thank you. I really appreciate your comment. I agree, my stepdad is definitely one of those who has never left the town he was raised in and think that any travel is unnecessary. That's also what I've been worried about. Before my stepdad recently mentioned that the inheritance should have been split, I had a gut feeling that they secretly felt that way, but weren't telling me. I'll definitely look into getting a financial planner. Thank you. A third comment says, my primary advice is to tell nobody about what you are doing. Go low contact and tell absolutely no one. This includes your partner also. Comment 4 says, ensure that your financial consultant is a fiduciary. Just flat out ask the prospective financial consultant. A fiduciary is legally bound to put their client's best interests ahead of their own. Fifth comment, it sounds like you might have some bitter relatives that they don't benefit from the inheritance. Your stepdad played his hand too early in their manipulation. Believe what they are doing. They are showing their true colors, trying to browbeat you into something for themselves. Did your mother get it from her side of the family, or was it from her own efforts? I ask because if it came from, for example, your mother's dad, wouldn't they have gotten inheritance too at the same time? Don't let them get in your head. This is about you and what your mom wanted for you. You lost your mom and need healing while they are preoccupied with the material aspect. OP replied, they definitely seem bitter. And I've had a gut feeling that they've been bitter this whole time in secret, but it's just now starting to really come out. The inheritance comes from my mother's own efforts, not from any previous inheritances. And that is the end of that story. And yeah, that is your money.
It is.
You know, if this didn't come from the family, this came from her.
Mm-hmm.
She earned that money, and that's your money now. And yeah, go low contact with your family members that want to leech from you.
It's going to be tough. This will probably be the hardest thing you go through for a while. That's what you got to do.
Yeah. Maybe grandma, you know, I don't know. Graham might be able to work her way back in. I think it just matters with, like, it was, to be clear, it was the stepdad.
Yeah.
Who was the one who was like, it should have been split. That doesn't necessarily mean that grandma feels, you know, the same way that he does about wanting to take your money. But she she also might,
Yeah.
not agree with how you spend it, but that's, her thing. Anyway, you do you.
You
Feel
man.
better. Just
And
lost your mom. It's
Get that
sucks.
RV and check out all the, food chain restaurants you want.
National parks and chain restaurants
It's all you, man.
in the RV. That's the best way to spend your grieving time.
Yeah.